Today, Group 16 wants to bring to the table a deep dive analysis into the current situation through the visualization of statistics. Without insights of environmental and anthropological information, we want to offer explanations, predictions, and suggest possible solutions to contribute to the combat against COVID-19. According to the current state of the situation, there are over 1.5 million reported cases of infection. China's spread has seemed to plateau, while everywhere else in the world sees an exponential growth. United States suffers the most severe case of infection, surpassing any country in the world. Considering the second graph, it can be seen that the total cases have surpassed 1.5 million and that there is no tendency of slowing down at the moment, as observed in the exponential trend displayed in the global infection cases graph. The geographical view of the data shows an enormous concentration in European regions, with Italy, Spain, and France suffering the worst case of outbreak. United States, on the other hand, have taken the top position of the most COVID-19 cases, all of which have surpassed China's reported cases. At the moment, deaths have surpassed 74,000 cases and has yet to show trends of slowing down. In this presentation, we will make the analysis of the factors that come into play that may cause the trend we are observing here. The first environmental factor considered is temperature, plotted against COVID-19 cases. In different regions analyzed in this chart, coronavirus sees the highest infection cases in regions with temperatures ranging from 0.3 to 12 degrees Celsius in February and 3.9 to 13 degrees in March. We can conclude that COVID-19 has the optimum temperature that trends toward the colder region, and that it spreads much faster in regions with average temperature from 0 to 12 degrees Celsius. Climate data also closely reflect the temperature data. Regions with temperate climate is found to have the most cases of corona infection, allowing us to infer that countries like United States, Germany, and Spain, which is predominantly temperate, sees more tendency of COVID-19 epidemic compared to other tropical, Mediterranean, hot and dry, desert and arid climate regions. All in all, the data points out that COVID-19 is a virus characterized by the ability to strive well in colder temperature and in temperate climate.
One of the main factors that we think it affects the number of COVID-19 cases is population density. Therefore, we picked some countries in Europe and find population density in square kilometer and cases of COVID-19 of each countries. Then we plot a graph to see if it's going to increase or not. In the graph, you can clearly see that if we take out the three outliers, which is Spain, France, Germany, the line will be straight up, which shows that the country that has higher population density tends to have more COVID-19 cases. However, the outliers also show that the population density might not be a factor that affects the number of COVID-19 cases. So we tried to find more evidence and data that support the idea of population density affects the number of COVID-19 cases by recording the change of COVID-19 cases after 12 days and 1 month. This is the graph that shows the initial number of cases and the number of cases after 12 days. The left side of y-axis is the number of cases, while the right side is the percentage growth. The line on the graph reflects the percentage growth of each European country. At first, we thought that after 12 days, the UK would have the most growth rate because it has the highest population density. But it turned out that Ireland, which has almost the lowest population density, has the highest percentage growth, while the UK's percentage growth was a bit lower than the average. However, after 1 month, I compared the new number of COVID-19 cases with the initial number of COVID-19 cases and find the percentage growth. The graph shows that the UK is the second highest in the percentage growth, even more than Spain, Czech Republic, and Germany. If we take out Ireland, the infrared line graph would be going up, which shows that the population density is the main factor that affects the number of COVID-19 cases. Anyway, if Ireland is included, the line graph will be hard to say whether it is increasing or decreasing. Therefore, we conclude that the population density could be the main factor that affects the number of COVID-19 cases, but it's not the only main factor.
Another factor that we should consider about COVID-19 infection is the relationship between income level and infected cases. As you can see that the American and European have higher income compared to the Asian and African, so they have a better service than Asian African, especially for healthcare. So they should have the healthier life than us. But as you can see that this chart, this is a confirmed case in worldwide. We can see that North America and European has more crisis than Asian and African. So we cannot conclude that the high income affect the healthier life.
So basically, we are finding the factor that cause an increase of COVID-19, and we think that number of tourists may be one of the factors. As you can see from the graph, the overall trend is positive, which indicates that the higher number of people traveling in the country, the higher number of confirmed cases in that particular country. For example, Spain is the country that has the most visitors, approximately 83.8 million people per year, and confirmed cases are also highest, which is around 146,690 cases. So the possible reason is that travelers might catch the COVID-19 without notice and spread the virus while traveling. We conclude that the more travelers, the more risk of getting infected, and one definite factor causing an increase of COVID-19 pandemic is the amount of tourist arrivals. In order to reduce the negative impact in terms of tourism from this outbreak, some countries have banned foreign visitors and have travel restrictions.
Political standpoint affect number of COVID-19 cases most. As you can see from the left graph, dictatorship is pink and democracy is blue. Excluding China and Italy, democratic countries tend to have more problems with the outbreak. Because of dictatorship, the leader can make decisions swiftly in order to prevent the outbreak. Surprisingly, Laos and North Korea report 0 cases, which is very suspicious. Do they really have the ability to fully control the outbreak? We will never know.
This graph depicts about the culture grading method and COVID-19 case, which have 5 styles, which is bow their head, Buddhist style, by hand, hug, and use their cheek and nose. So we put all this data in circle picture to make it more clearly to read. So as you can see that the country which use their hand to greeting each other tend to be the most infected in the world, and following by use hug to greeting each other, and next is use their cheek and nose, and following by bow their head. So as you can see that the country which use the Buddhist style have the least infected when compared with the other countries. So it can be concluded that the country which use their body touch each other tend to have more infected than country which not.
Global Health Security Index, the main factor in the number of COVID-19 cases. The more value in Global Health Security Index the country has, the more health security it has. So according to the graph, health security is not the main factor in the number of COVID-19 cases. Well, it still depends on other things like how much population density it has and something. However, the most interesting things about this is the countries whose index is low, such as Somalia, which has only 16.6, has only 1 case of coronavirus. This might indicate that some countries cannot detect people who are infected.
Another data that is important to consider is the amount of COVID-19 checkups compared to the COVID-19 cases recorded, plotted against each other. We can see that South Korea has a really high amount of COVID-19 case tests performed, up to 300,000 cases tests performed. And according to this relationship, we can see that the more tests performed, the more recorded cases are confirmed. And the countries that sits here towards the top right of the chart translate to them being more ready and adaptive to these changes, because these countries are fast to react, they perform more tests, and therefore they are able to conclude more cases of confirmed COVID-19, especially in regions with heavy outbreak like South Korea, Italy, United States, and Spain. Therefore, it is suggested that more tests should be performed to make a confirmation of a more true-to-life value of real COVID-19 cases. All in all, our initial research into the population density reflected a clear correlation. The more densely people are packed, the higher chance of infection. Our further development into the research found other nuances that have impact on the current situation, such as the environmental and human factors. Countries with colder temperature and temperate climate have an especially high infection in the past few months. A number of tourists traveling in and out of the country and factors like bodily contact in daily lives contribute to the cases growth as well. The number of COVID-19 cases conducted per country, along with the country income and the index of global health security, ultimately reflects on how well each country is prepared for the current pandemic. All in all, data can reflect a lot on the COVID-19 situation. Proud to present them to you.